Okay, JB, this car looks pretty different from a few days ago.
Very different. After 1,000,000 hours of block sanding and attending to minor deviations, we're now at the point now where we've got not only we've got the primer, we have the base coat and the 3 clear coats. In modern paint is comprised of 2 different elements. Normally, you can still get and use single stage paint, but in this case, to get the real deep look that people are accustomed to now, you have to really use a base coat, clear coat. This is a really good quality clear coat that we're using. Quality meaning that it goes on well and also has really good ultraviolet protection types of chemistry, wherein some of the stuff is not quite as good, it's less expensive, and it's really made for, you know, resale cars that are not necessarily going to be looking at 10 years from now. But
do you recall what the brand is or anything about the details of this clear coat?
yeah, I'll get you all that information. It's a Bear product, and we'll get you the exact, but we're going to, hopefully we'll do an interview of the manager of the paint store, because I think he can give us some really good insights into why. I was under the misconception that the color coat was really critical, and it turns out that it really is the clear coat that makes the big difference. It's the first one that the ultraviolet can attack, obviously, and of course the ultraviolet is your enemy, and also dirt. About 50 years of doing this, I've never waxed a car. It really isn't necessary if a car is kept out of the ultraviolet. It's kept clean and washed routinely. There's really no need to put wax on it.
Interesting.
Okay, it gives it a sheen on a dull paint job, but it really is not doing anything to protect the paint itself. So that's a misnomer. So what you notice immediately is the car's already shiny. Now this is right out of the can. I mean, a lot of people would stop right here.
So what is left? Do you say that?
Well, we need to color sand and buff it. We know you've got about 8 coats of paint on there. So in that process, you're going to end up with a bit of orange peel, a bit of texture that needs to be removed.
Okay, let's
have
a look at that. See if we can show.
Yeah, you see a tiny bit of it in the clear coat.
Yeah, you can just see, like if you're looking at that light
it's difficult
there,
to pick up because
you can see it kind of bounce around a little bit.
yeah, just a little bit.
But that
so something like 1000 grit paper will remedy that, and then we'll hit it with a buffer. Again, no wax. Did I say no wax enough?
You said no wax.
Okay, thank you.
I remember that.
No wax, please.
Yeah.
Another thing that wax does is it prevents subsequent repairs to that area. For instance, if you have a minor accident or even a major accident, and you got wax all over the car, you got silicone all over the car, it's virtually impossible to paint that car now.
Because you got
paint is not going to bond to wax and silicone. Okay?
Right.
The whole point of wax and silicone, like Armor All, products like Armor All, is to protect the inside of the car, and somehow people get it on the outside of the car, and that's really the kiss of death, because when you go to repaint it, if you're going to hang on to the car for a long time, it's going to make it virtually impossible to repaint. So we want to stay away from anything with a silicone base when we're going over paint or near paint.
Right. Now, I know we're going to still got some work to do on this, but it feels like this is going lightning fast. Can you explain?
Well, it has to go lightning fast. This car was invited to go to the Scottsdale Concours, and because it is a representation of the streamline cars of that era, in fact, it probably is the best streamline car of that era. And they didn't have one, so they called me and asked me if I would bring one, and this is the car that we picked because it's essentially an original car, which is what they're looking for. And so we wanted to represent what the car actually looked like from the factory. And of course, the paint was faded and needed help, so we decided to paint the entire car. Even though we have a constrained time limit on this car, we're gonna be really close to getting done just about 1.5 minutes before it's due to leave here, which is not atypical, frankly. But you know, we did undertake quite a bit more than we probably should have. But the guys have been working overtime, and really killing it
Yeah.
to get it to this point.
Well, the Concours, I'm not sure when this is going to get posted, but we're recording this on January 10th.
Right.
And the Concours is January 22nd.
That's correct. It's
So-
12 days and 6 minutes from now.
That's
okay?
right. And for those who want to see this car in person.
Oh, wait a minute, it's now 5 minutes. Okay.
For anyone that wants to see this car in person when it's finished.
Yes.
Sunday, January 22nd at the Scottsdale Convention Center.
Yes.
This will be available for public showing.
Yep,
And,
exactly.
And JB will probably be floating around.
This car's never really been out in the public. It's kind of been hidden away in garages all of its life. So this will be its coming out party.
Yeah.
And because it is such a really good representation of an original car, I think it'll be great for people to see the as-built condition of the car. Now we do cars with disc brakes and we do them with automatic transmissions. This will be stock.
Right. This has the mechanical brakes.
That's correct. It has mechanical
They're all drum
brakes.
brakes.
Yes.
And it has the original transmission and
Right.
engine setup.
And a 2-speed rear end, which is a rare option. But
Right.
all of the things that are on the engine are extremely well done in terms of color, in terms of correctness. All the tubing is bent in the right direction. Although it looks a little chaotic in here, that's the way Lincoln built it.
And I will attest, having personally watched you daily drive this car or drive
Yes.
it many, many days, just hop in the car and go.
Yeah, really, this car is very
pretty
practical.
incredible.
Even though it doesn't have the disc brakes and it doesn't have the automatic, you'd never know it after you drove it for a little bit. It's just really easy to drive, and most importantly, it stops, because in city traffic, your biggest challenge is to keep from collecting smaller imported cars. And they get stuck in your grill and you can't get them out. You know, it's just, So, yeah, it really desperately needs to go, but it also has to stop.
Right.
And this car stops extremely well.
So it seemed like the car is pretty complete. Like you took all the trim off, but it was
Yes.
there. And I guess for the most part, you're putting it back like it was, I guess.
Yeah, there's really nothing to do with the trim. The trim is just virtually perfect. Most of the chrome on the car is on the bumpers, and the rest of it's stainless.
Okay.
And so it's easily polished and put back together without any chrome plating.
Oh, gotcha.
But all of that work was already done before we got the car.
Right.
And so that, at least we're not waiting on that. We are having the hubcaps polished, so they should be ready here shortly, we're hopeful.
Okay.
And we have another set we can use, but we want it to be as good a representation as we can for a Concours, because it's going to be among some really elite cars, and it needs to stand out and be proud.
Okay.
I don't think there's any doubt that it belongs in a Concours, because it just is a beautiful design and execution, and a lot of people have never seen one.
Now, do I remember right that this is the last year of the wide 5 rims? and
Exactly,
hubcaps?
exactly. That's why I like 38s, one of the reasons. And the wide 5 allows you to have a spoke type hubcap if you want, and then there's a large stock hubcap that is normally worn, and that's what we're going to be putting on this car. Is
Right.
it's a triple tiered affair. It says
Okay.
Lincoln Zephyr in the middle of it. Extremely rare, very hard to restore. The ones we sent out to have polished, the guy was amazed at how good the condition was, because normally they're really beat up pretty badly. But
Right.
we just wanted him to put a final touch on it and keep our guys working on paint. We can do that here in our shop. We do metal polishing and metal straightening, but we want to use parallel resources so that we don't tie them up.
You're on an incredible deadline, even
Yeah,
though
right.
you're starting with a pretty complete good car, obviously, but the deadline is still pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty intense in terms of being really short.
Yeah.
A lot of people would question my sanity for even attempting it. What I like to say is, even if we don't make it, we still got the car. Okay?
Well, now,
but
what was
we
it?
want it to be there.
Tell us what went through your mind when you thought about the idea of, you've had this car for a long time, you've been driving it around,
Right.
and just kind of being kind of casual about it. And how long, what did the invitation kind of
Well,
spur on for you?
the the supposition was that it was an original car.
Right. Okay.
So we could not start with a car that's too far down. We couldn't start with a car that already had disc brakes and it already had an automatic, so those were off the table. And that left this one. I mean, we have probably the largest collection of coupes on the planet, but even that's only 6 cars.
Yeah.
So it got down to this is the only car that could reasonably expected to be finished in time that was an original car. And so.
Were you planning to paint it to begin with?
No. Honestly, my cars always suffer because the customer's cars are always going to come first.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
Sure.
I don't have a lot of preference in the shop simply because I think it's more important my customers. They support us. They give us what we need to pay the guys and be here. And so they get their cars done first.
Right.
My cars have to fit their way in as they can, but that's a lot of the times it doesn't happen for sometimes years.
Yeah.
And so this car was in that category. It was a good original car, but it needed to be painted. We couldn't bring it out in public without painting it. So we decided to go to the trouble of painting it. And so shucks, I wind up with a beautiful car. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah. What a sacrifice.
Oh man, yeah. What a neat guy I am.
Now, going back to the Concours, do you know anybody? I mean, you probably will when you get there, but do you know of any of your compatriots there that are going to?
Yeah, I'm expecting that there'll be an airflow there. Maybe that was a Chrysler kind of signature car for aerodynamics, and then Chevrolet doesn't really have anything that's really out there.
Right.
But they kind of relate to the party, and when they saw this car, I mean, they were devastated because 2 things, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Buick guy. This car was sent shockwaves through everybody because normally they have spies, they know what's coming up. This one caught them off guard. They just didn't know that, because in the small numbers that was being built, it just didn't raise anybody's eyebrows back when it was being planned in 35. So General Motors had a tremendously talented design staff, obviously, Harley Earl being one of them. When he saw this car, I think he was quoted saying, "We're in trouble."
Right.
Not because they couldn't do the same thing, and they had all the capability in the world. They just, in the car world, it's the first guy there that gets the
being first is a big deal.
Gets the credibility because now when the second guy comes on, it looks like you just copied him. That's not really true. If you look at General Motors offerings after this car came out in 36, they have their own distinct identity, but you notice that they went away from some of the style cues that the Zephyr had in order to set themselves apart, and they did a really good job of it.
Yeah.
36 Buick is a beautiful car. 37s are beautiful. 38's getting a little, but it was really a tip of the hat to the Zephyrs.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, it's going to be great to be there. I'm looking forward to being there on Sunday.
We're going to enjoy our time there. We're going to be working the show as well.
Yeah.
And if anybody has time to come and see it, I think it's probably, without a doubt, one of the best Concours in the world. These guys are just such dedicated, committed car people. Yeah. And they have a lot of really good friends that have really fantastic cars. So
yeah, no one's there for the money. It's raising money for
involved.
A nonprofit, and
it's there because of the sheer joy of celebrating some of this automotive art. That's what it's about.
That's really cool. And watch out, there's a rear fender right there in front of you. Don't trip over that.
I wouldn't do that. I'd probably get killed. Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jamie.
You bet.
It's going to be fun to follow this through.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yay!